Hey guys, Wowguy here, and today I am going to teach you how to play the warrior class in World of Warcraft in 5 minutes. This guide won't get too specific with specializations and is instead meant to be a permanent, always relevant video for how the warrior class operates. So let's get started. The warrior class is one that deals with getting up close and personal to enemies, with a strong focus on a melee playstyle. Their main resource is Rage, which increases as you deal damage, take damage, and use abilities and cooldowns. It decays over time, back down to 0 if you are not in combat with something. Warriors wear thick armor, typically mail at first and then plate, and wield a variety of weapons, namely one-hand, two-hand, and shields in their arsenal. How you mix and match your weapons will depend on your specialization. As far as the stats on our gear, we care about stacking stamina and strength. How useful the secondary stats will be varies between expansions and patches. Plus, each specialization has a different, generally accepted stat priority, so between those two things, it's a little hard to definitively say what the best stats will always be. But you can always get some good advice from the online forums or from simply asking other players. Warriors have 2 DPS specializations and 1 tank specialization. Fury is a DPS specialization and deals with attacking quick with devastating ferocity to get large damage spikes. They dual-wield two-hand weapons, and up until Legion, could forego dual-wielding two-hand weapons in favor of dual-wielding one-hand weapons. Fury will typically excel at single-target damage over Arms. Arms is the other DPS specialization, and it deals with wielding a single two-hand weapon, and usually has a more calm but deadly approach to pacing the damage they deal. Arms has good multi-target damage over Fury, at the cost of typically yielding a little less single-target damage. Finally, Protection is the tanking specialization, and uses one-hand weapons and a shield to absorb, ignore, reduce, and/or mitigate damage, while keeping the enemy's attention focused on themselves rather than their allies. On average, warriors consistently deliver a fun and impactful playstyle if you want a class that's always relevant and reliable for any type of content, whether it be PvP or PvE. Warriors across every specialization always have some way to close distance to the enemy, impair movement, self-heal, and shake off roots, snares, and stuns. In PvP, warriors are particularly vulnerable to a few select classes and specializations that focus on keeping at a range to gain the advantage in combat. Specifically, frost mages and hunters in general. Although warriors are not inherently a fantastic PvP class, they can roll over other players with ease when they are at their best. A typical ability rotation for any given specialization of warrior consists of charging in, followed by using abilities that generate rage, and then spending your rage on your damaging abilities if you are DPS, or your defensive abilities if you are tanking. Aside from the main rotation, there are also good abilities to use outside of your main rotation, or to use in combination with your main rotation, that will help you deal massive damage or take less of it. Make use of these when you can, as they will make you a much better player in the long run. However, you should use these kinds of abilities when you need them rather than spamming them when they become available. As far as picking a race to play warrior with, I'd just tell you to pick the race that you like. I have personally played the least popular horde warrior race combination for several years as a troll warrior, and I never once felt obligated to race change my character because it didn't provide me enough benefits to the class. If you are hardcore, then there are obviously certain races that warrior would do better with than others. But if you really need that little extra damage or healing or health or whatever, then you'd be better off playing the race you like and just buying some flasks and chants and whatnot. Maybe some storm chops too. So that about does it for this guide. This is by no means a definitive guide for everything warrior, but this should at least give you the basics of the class and help you figure out whether or not you want to play it. If this guide did not help you, then feel free to check out some of my other warrior guides. Check out Wowhead, ask some other players to help you understand the class, explore your spellbook, or just take a chance and jump right into the class and start playing. Anyways, that's all for now. See you next time.